You ever want it down? A ghost. Not a living soul. A mind. You may see strange signs, like I did that night down in old Ghost Town.
Hi everybody, I'm Jeff with Virginia Paranormal Investigations. And tonight, we're out on the road here. Put up my window so we get a little less wind. Hitting up a couple urban legends, which we like to do every once in a while. Get out and revisit some of these places, see if we can catch any evidence of paranormal activity. And our first point of interest tonight is Old House Woods. We're up here in Diggs, Virginia right now, about to get down here on Old House Woods. And tonight is particularly interesting because we saw some flashes off in the distance. So it looks like there's a storm brewing. And it's been on nights like this when there's been storms that people have heard the Banshee, and also the ghost ship has been spotted. So we're gonna go down here and take a look around, and we'll keep you posted.
We're sitting in front of this old house that's out here not too far off the road. It's Haven Beach Road, I believe, and we've got this trusty Coleman spotlight. It's something crazy like 500 lumens.
750.
750?
I think so. I think it's something ridiculous like that.
Holy crap, okay.
Yeah, so we can pretty much, like, you know,
yeah, light up anything.
light up the moon from here.
Right, yeah. It's got this really kind of handy battery pack in the back. Either you use 4 D-cell batteries, or you can buy one of the separate battery packs that you can plug into your cigarette lighter in the car, which for, you know, paranormal investigators is kind of a handy thing to have. So we're just kind of bringing it out for the first time that we've ever had it out, and see what it does, and seems to be more than sufficient for our usage.
And it's interesting, you can see how illuminated this is, right? Like the woods?
Yes.
You can see it through the camera there?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I was looking through the camera, this, with the spotlight, actually gets better range than the night vision camera. Now, if we had an external infrared light, which we do, but we don't have it with us, it would get a good range. But this is pretty good. I'm really impressed by this spotlight. So let's go down here a little bit towards the beach and see if we can find anything else. Right now we're down here by the beach access point. We can't go all the way down there at night because it's closed, it's illegal. And we don't do anything illegal, of course. Interesting thing though, there are some vehicles parked down there. So we don't really want to go mess around with that either, in case it's, you know, somebody with a chainsaw or something like that. As we've expressed, that's, you know, the thing we probably fear the most up here. I do have to say that if you can't see it through the camera, and you won't be able to, but the stars up here are amazing. You know, it's a clear night, it's a little breeze going, it's not a bad temperature, it's starting to cool down a little bit. And one interesting thing about this spot where we're parked at the beach, not so much now because there are people behind us in their vans or whatever, as unsettling as that is, but when there's not people behind there in creepy vans, it still feels like you're being watched, and it feels like sitting here. If you sit here, you turn off your lights, turn off the car, you have that constant feeling that at any second you're going to turn and see something standing at the window or something like that. And I'm sure, Linda, you can probably see, like right now, and I know it's just the wind through here, but you can hear the wind blowing through the swamp grass and stuff like that. But every once in a while you hear like a, you know, like there's something walking. They're probably animals, but at the same time it's a little unnerving. Now you kind of have that same feeling down here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's just that intense feeling that something's here watching you wherever you are and whatever you're doing, and that whatever is watching you is definitely doesn't want you here. It's not. It's more uncomfortable than I think any place I've ever been, as far as that's concerned.
All right. Well, we just came down from Haven Beach Road, and the road ahead of us to the right is actually Old House Woods Road. And that's believed to be the site of where the original old house was, the one that burned down years ago. And we're going to take a little drive down there and see if we can see anything. All right, what do you see?
Actually, there's not a whole lot out here. It's just kind of a strange clearing in these really dense woods. But there are a couple of things that make me think that there used to be a house here. One thing is the one end of what looks like a clothesline that's sitting here. You can see that kind of T shape out there in the distance. And I would love to be able to get out here and see if there's perhaps the remnants of an old foundation or some bricks there, but there is a sign up here that says private property, no trespassing, so we are not allowed to go on the land. But other than that, there's not a whole lot here. It is just really strange how there's that one blank spot in the forest, one clearing with just grass and none of this vegetation and undergrowth, where you can see everywhere else. The undergrowth is so dense that, I mean, you can't even get a couple of feet into the forest here. And I don't know, they say that this is the site of the old house, the old original house that Old House Woods is named after. And there's no real evidence of where it was located at, but I'd kind of like to think that maybe it was sitting in that clearing back there at one time.
It's also hard to say too, because, you know, like Linda said, that clearing is it's unusual that there's just kind of a clearing there in the middle of the woods. Looks like there's an old, you know, clothesline pole there and stuff like that. But this house, reportedly, this was over 100 years ago that it burnt down, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the way vegetation grows around here is ridiculous. I remember a couple years ago coming up here to this one house that sits there now, and there being like a clear path to go to the back porch and all that stuff, and now it's just completely overgrown. So the vegetation, with how damp it is up here and everything, marshlands all around, I guess it's very fertile soil, and it really grew up pretty quick around here. So who knows, that house could be buried under, you know, so many vines and everything else, if there's any foundation to it, along with that treasure. That treasure would be almost impossible to find if indeed there is treasure up in these woods. Alright, so here's another old abandoned house out here in Old House Woods. Pretty creepy. We're not going to attempt to go inside of it, but we just stopped to take a look at it. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell how old it is, since it looks like we're just looking at the very end of it. I don't know, it's pretty rough, and there's so much undergrowth here that it doesn't even look like we can get back to it anymore. There are definitely power lines running to it, so it can't have been abandoned for so long.
You may see strange signs, like I did that night.
Alright, so we're heading up out of Old House Woods, and we're going to continue this paranormal patrol, if you will. And we're going to go out to a place that we've never been to before, called My Lady Bridge. And what's the story behind this bridge?
Well, we've heard a couple of versions of the story. It's called My Lady Bridge because it's a road that goes over the My Lady Swamp, and which is just a small section of water out in the middle of these dense woods. And it's reported that a woman in a horse-drawn carriage had somehow either lost control of the carriage and had gone over the side and had drowned in the swamp at one time. And supposedly when you go out there late at night, you can hear strange knocking sounds that sound like they're coming from underneath the bridge.
Is this kind of supposed to represent like the clomping of horse hooves?
I believe so, yes. That's how I took it when I read the story, yes. So we're going to see what we can find.
So this sounds like it's going to be an interesting place, and like I said, I love urban legends. You know, of course we do a lot of other stuff, but urban legends are always my favorite. So I'm really interested in seeing what this place looks like and seeing if we can pick up anything there. I don't know if we'll be able to stop and get out. I don't know what it, like I said, I've never been there before, but we're going to check it out and find out.
All right, we are continuing down 3 a little ways. We're going over the river. I believe it's the Piankatank River.
Over the river.
Yep, and
through the woods.
Going to go into Hartfield, and we're looking for Route 33, and I believe it's going to be a left on 33. And after that, we'll be looking for Philpott Road, and we'll be taking a left on that as well. But we still have a little ways to go.
So, I'm thinking about, falls upon us on Halloween, of course, one of my favorite seasons and favorite holidays, of course, naturally. And, we just stopped at 7-Eleven a little ways back here. Check out our Paranormal Pit Stops Facebook page. It's facebook.com/paranormalpitstops. And you can see our reviews of all these little places to stop 24/7, or at least late at night while you're out ghost hunting. And we got this pumpkin pie spice creamer, which is really good. And I gotta say that, loving the fall and Halloween, I love when this pumpkin spice stuff comes around. And it's stuff that you would only have this time of year. Like I couldn't drink it in the middle of the summer. It would be like listening to Christmas music in the middle of the summer, And it's one of those things that it's kind of helps to signify this time of year, which, like I said, we here at VAPI all love and enjoy.
Yeah, we definitely like Halloween. That should be like the national holiday for anyone that's a paranormal investigator. And we enjoy going through the stores and looking at all of the Halloween decorations that they have out, these skulls that light up on the inside, and it's really great, the things that you can find in the stores nowadays. And we look for things that we can use year round in our displays and conventions, and it's definitely a very enchanting time of year for us.
Yeah, and like any other time of year, if we're looking for stuff to put on our table, like little displays or little ghosts or whatever, it's hard to find, which is why it's awesome at Halloween, because there's such an abundance of, you want to decorate with everything, you want to get everything, and I gotta say, with Halloween, aside from the kids trick-or-treating and everything else, as a lot of you may know, the veil, it's believed that, I guess approximately a little bit before Halloween and a little bit after, through that time, it's actually believed that the veil between the spirit world and ours is a lot thinner, per se, or even lifted. And it's the prime time for paranormal activity, so we got to come up with a good investigation that we're going to do around Halloween, which actually we'll be doing the North Carolina battleship not too far before Halloween, so maybe some activity there. But we're going to keep driving down over the river and through the woods. To Old Lady Bridge we go. My Lady Bridge.
I believe we're supposed to go left on Philpott Road.
Another left?
Yep, another left.
Didn't we just make, won't that be 3 lefts?
Yes.
We're going around in a circle?
No, we're going around in a square.
Sure about that?
Yep, positive.
If we make a left, and then another left, and then another left. Isn't that kind of... We're going to end up back at Old House Woods, or what?
No, we're not. No, we're not going far enough on Philpott to go all the way back.
Oh, okay. Philpott. They must have been high when they named that road.
Yeah.
All right. We arrived at Stormont Road, and this is the road that My Lady Bridge is on. And I gotta say, there are some houses along this road. It's hard to see at night, as far as exactly what's out there, but it feels like we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There's some pretty dense woods on either sides of us. It is a creepy little road, and it's always interesting your first time going out to a new urban legend, because you always just get this creepy feeling, that you're not knowing what to expect. You're not knowing where the road's going to lead, what's going to be around each turn. And it's always such an exciting time. Now, is this the bridge?
I don't know. I might have to pull out the spotlight and see if there's water down there.
Let's go a little further.
Yeah. Because I think the road is white.
Okay.
The road turns to a very light gray pavement.
Okay. So we just crossed over a bridge. So we're going to go down here a little farther and see what we can find.
Okay, so here we sit on the bridge at Stormont Road. Unfortunately, there is no shoulder on this road. There's really nowhere for us to pull off and get out of the car and come back and take a look. But we're going to sit here for a few minutes and see if we can hear any strange knocking of any sound, any kind, and we'll come back and let you know what we hear.
Now let's shine a spotlight out the side there. What are we sitting on top of here?
There's quite a deep ravine, and down at the bottom of this ravine I can just catch a glimpse of a little water down there. Now I don't know if we're looking at a small amount of water that may have been much larger at one time when this lady went over, but you can drown in a bathtub, so who knows? Who knows what the situation was, but it's a good ways down there. So I'm standing out here on Stormont Road. We've stopped the vehicle, and we're feeling pretty confident that we could see any cars that are coming down the road. But you can see over the bridge if you stop and get out and look over the edge, and you can see the water down there. There's not like I said, a significant amount of water, but it's certainly enough to drown in. So far we haven't heard any knocking or any strange noises, just a lot of crickets and otherwise silence.
All right, so I got out here on My Lady Bridge, and I'm just going to walk around a little bit, see if we get any EMF spikes. I'm not expecting anything significant, but I got to say there's definitely a creepy feeling out here. I walked around the back of the truck. It's pitch black back there, just to switch out of the driver's seat, and this is definitely a creepy place. So I'm going to walk around out here and see if I can pick anything up. All right, so nothing significant to report as far as EMF spikes. Everything's pretty quiet. Sometimes water is a conduit for paranormal activity, and still it's all quiet. Nothing out of the ordinary as far as the EMF goes. I guess what we'll do is maybe cross over the bridge, go down the road a little bit, because it is a creepy road and we love to travel down creepy roads. So we'll go down the road a little bit and we'll circle around and come back, and maybe stop on the bridge one more time, observe. What the hell was that? Did you hear that? Okay, so what I thought it was maybe a car coming, but I looked up and I didn't see any headlights. And we did a little experimenting with the door, because maybe I might have moved the door a little bit with my hand, and but you didn't do this on the brakes at all.
No.
See, and I heard something. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. You can hear that, right?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
I heard something that sounded like that, and of course it was startling at first, but I don't know if it was. I don't know. It could have been. If you didn't move your foot, though, if you had your foot steady on the brake, it wasn't that, and it wasn't the door. The door doesn't make a.
No, it squeaks a lot, but
yeah.
It doesn't thump.
See, but the thing is...
What was that?
I don't know. That's the door, see? Or did you hear something else?
No, I thought I heard something else.
You did, right? Like a
right
foot
off
stomp?
In that distance. I don't know what it was.
Like that, right?
Yeah, it was a little something.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it was creepy because we're out here on this deserted road late at night and there's nothing around here. We still haven't seen any cars coming up on us, but we definitely are hearing something strange out here every so often. And I imagine if you sat out here long enough, you may actually hear the thumping. The only problem is we can't get down underneath the bridge to see what the structure is like, or to see if there's any large limbs that might be hitting the underside of the bridge as the breeze blows or something.
And that's what I kind of wonder, if it is possibly something that's under the bridge, like you said, like a limb or something like that, because I definitely heard that sound, right? Yeah. And I try to debunk it, when you're out in a place like this, you kind of expect something creepy to happen, and sometimes your mind creates something. Linda didn't hear what I heard. I heard it, and there's a chance I could have moved the door and it could have made like a creaking noise, or a popping noise that could have sounded like that. It could have been a foot on the brake.
Right.
But when you heard it too, it kind of reconfirmed that there is a noise out there. But if it's a result of this carriage accident, we don't know. I mean, like I said, it's pitch black out here. The ravine is far down. We can't get underneath to look at it. It could very well be a tree branch or something like that hitting underneath. But we did hear the thump.
Yes.
Whether it's natural or paranormal.
We were just coming down the road here, and the EMF detector was sitting next to us on the seat of the truck, and it just beeped twice for some odd reason. So we've circled around. We're going back down the road to see if perhaps we went underneath some power lines or something that may have set it off. Otherwise, we can't figure out any reason why it may have gone off.
Well, I'll tell you what, we just went under the power line. See now they're on the right?
Yes.
And it didn't go off.
No, it didn't.
So I'm not sure what that was that would have set it off.
No.
And there it goes off again now. Okay, now, okay.
Now are we under power lines?
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
Because see, these are like some serious, I don't know if you can see them. That's the moon, that light in the background there.
Oh yeah, this is one of those.
Where's the spotlight at? See, these are some serious, serious power lines here.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? So that's what we went under that set this thing off.
Yeah, the closer I get to my window, the more it goes off.
Exactly, because
when I put it in the center of the truck, though, it doesn't go off. That's a weird thing about it.
Yeah, but when we were coming up, it was more towards your side, and the power lines, like these big ones over here, would have been closer to that side.
Yeah.
So maybe if we, you know, like if we put it over to this side, like where it would have been, maybe.
I don't know. See, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's weird. All right, we're coming back up on the bridge here, and as you may be able to see vaguely in the video, it's quite a scene. You know, we're out here in the woods, and we got the moon, a little less than a half moon, hanging high above the trees. It's really illuminating the area, very nice. But we're doing another pass over the bridge here to see if we can hear anything, see if anything picks up when the wind blows that might simulate a thumping sound. And you can hear the crickets out there. I definitely have a creepy feeling on this bridge, you know, and I'm by no means medium or anything like that, but there's definitely an eerie feeling when you're stopped on this bridge. Is there not?
Yes, there definitely is. And I really would have liked to see the bridge back in the old days, or at least in the condition that it was when there was horse-drawn carriages coming over. Right now, you know, you can tell that this has been reconstructed. There's concrete barricades on both sides. You know, of course, none of this was here. It may have even been a wooden bridge over top of the water here at one time. So that would have even been more creepy than it is now. But yeah, it definitely is kind of a strange feeling out here.
We're driving away from My Lady Bridge, and in conclusion, we didn't get to spend as much time there as we would have liked to have. We didn't get to do any EVP sessions. I got to walk around with the EMF detector a little bit. We got to take a couple pictures, and we had a couple cool experiences. Whether or not those things are paranormal, I can't say. I'd love to be able to, like I said earlier, get down there, see if I can't debunk it, come back out here during the daytime and take a look at it, see what it looks like. But the only thing is, it's such a narrow stretch of road. There's no shoulder before or after. Even now, a couple miles down the road, there's nowhere to pull over. So it's very hard to get out and thoroughly inspect this location. But I did hear what could be the thumping that people are describing. You know, I believe Linda heard it too, as she'll tell you, and there could very well be a natural explanation to it. We just weren't able to thoroughly investigate. But there it is, My Lady Bridge.
My Lady Bridge is along Stormont Road in Middlesex County, Virginia. It is definitely an interesting place to come out to late at night. I think we would like to come back, like Jeff said, during the daytime. Look underneath the bridge a little bit and be able to see if there's anything that may be knocking against the bridge. It definitely had that creepy feeling, and I was pretty impressed with what we saw. There's of course many possibilities as to what this could be. It also could be that the water is kind of conducting sound and bringing it down from perhaps houses or other places that are up the creek there. So there's just really no telling what it could be, but that's the EMF detector going off again.
And why is it going off?
I don't know, are we under power lines again?
I'm pretty sure. Yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
There you have it.
That must have been what it was, yeah. Under the power lines, yeah.
So, I gotta say earlier too, with that EMF spike, you know, it was cool. It's a little startling, of course. Like I said, all this stuff is startling when you're out here, but we're driving down the road and it beeps.
Right.
You know.
A little bit unsettling.
Of course, yeah, a little unsettling at first, but of course you look around and at second glance, power lines will set it off, obviously.
Yes, unsettling, but definitely explainable. So we're going to go back toward home and perhaps return another day.
The ghosts were twisting and stomping all around the town. Just dancing to the beat of the Mercy sound. Clapping and screaming, just mighty roar. Coming through the walls and walking through the doors. Flipping and sliding round and round. Down in old ghost town, in old ghost town.